Hi, welcome to the Business Talk Library. I'm Terrell Turner, and today I have a great guest on. And one of the big things that I always tell people is when you're going into business, something you want to start thinking about, and it's never too early to start thinking about, is your exit plan. And so when I saw the title of this book, and it is Exit Rich, which is something many people want to do, I said, you know what, we need to bring on the expert to talk about this topic. So I am excited to have Michelle Seiler Tucker on for her to talk about the new book and just talk about her amazing experience. So welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Terrell.
Absolutely. Now, Michelle, you have been featured on so many publications from Forbes to Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur. You've been on MSNBC, CNN, CBS, and 100 of other stages as a speaker. So tell us a little bit about, what made you, how did you become the expert in selling businesses?
That's a good question because I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm gonna sell businesses." I think as a little girl, I always knew that I was going to be my own boss. Number one, because I don't like being told what to do. It's always my biggest pet peeve. Don't tell me what to do. And so I've owned businesses in many different verticals. I did go to work at Xerox for a very short period of time. And then when I left Xerox, I went into franchise sales, franchise development, franchise consulting, and sold hundreds and hundreds of franchises and partnered with many different franchisors. One of the things that I kept noticing is I kept saying no, and I'm a yes person. And so many buyers were asking me if I had any existing businesses for sale. And I kept saying, no, I only have new franchises. And then I'm like, why am I saying no? I should be saying yes. This is silly because it's congruent to sell businesses. And so that's really what led me into opening up my M&A firm, is because I had so many buyers asking for businesses. So I said, gosh, if this many buyers are wanting to buy existing businesses and not start up franchises, then I need to start an M&A firm. And that's really how I started. So I don't just sell businesses though, because I learned right when I started selling businesses that 8 out of 10 businesses don't sell. 80%, according to Steve Forbes, who also endorsed Exit Rich. Steve Forbes said Exit Rich is a gold mine for entrepreneurs because most entrepreneurs leave too much money on the table when exiting their business. Steve Forbes also says 8 out of 10 businesses don't sell. So I learned a long time ago. I've been in this industry over 20 years. My firm has sold over 1,000 companies. I learned a long time ago that if I don't fix them, if I don't grow them, if I don't put them on a build to sell plan, a build to sell program, then they will never sell. So that's really, how I got started into not just selling businesses, but fixing them, buying them. I buy businesses, I flip them. I partner with business owners, investing my money, time, resources, and expertise in which to put them on a build to sell program. So we really specialize in buying, selling, fixing, and growing companies. On average, we close 98% of all offers we write, and we typically get our clients 20 to 40% higher selling price than what the business appraises for.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, there's so many great things that you said there. So I want to go back to one where you were talking about where people were asking you about, were there businesses for sale? And you were saying no. I mean, to me, that says that you had to be doing something amazing to even have the reputation for people to even know, to come to you to even ask the question.
I guess so. I guess so. I was doing a lot of marketing back then, but I was marketing, businesses for sale, but franchise businesses for sale.
Gotcha. And then the other thing that I think that you said that was very amazing, I'd love to talk a little bit more about it, is that, that build to sell plan, because I think that a lot of business owners, when they're thinking about their business, they're not thinking about the exit. And they may say, well, I don't plan on exiting at all. But I think that there's a lot of value in even just, hey, the concepts that you kind of share with them in that plan of, they're just, common sense things that you really want to do to make your business better, even if you want to hold on to it. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of how people receive that when you start working through that plan of telling them, hey, here's some things you want to keep in mind as you're just running your business?
Well, first thing I want to say is common sense is not so common. But, the biggest mistake that business owners make is not planning your exit. Nothing lasts forever. What goes up must come down. You're either growing or dying. If you think you're going to own your business forever, you're sadly mistaken. And that's the mindset that I'm on a mission to change. And that's what causes failure. When I wrote my very first book, Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth, in 2013, I did the research and learned that 95% of all startups within a 1 to 5 years will go out of business, right? We all know that. That's common knowledge. When I wrote Exit Rich in 2019 and 2020, and I did the exact same research, I learned that the business landscape has changed dramatically way before this pandemic. Now, only 30% of startups will go out of business. So listen up, Startup Nation. This is your time to start your business because you have a much higher, greater chance of survival than ever before. But on the flip side of that, businesses have been in business for 10 years or longer. Out of a sampling size of 27.6 million companies, those businesses that have been in business 10 years or longer, 70% of them will go out of business. So if you think you're going to keep your business forever, you are sadly mistaken. Business owners have to change their mind shift. They have to stop thinking of their business as their baby. Your babies are at home. Go hug and kiss them. Your business is your most valuable asset that you need to sell one day because that is your retirement plan. That is going to give you the most money of anything else that you own. So build your business, don't treat it like a baby, build your business as the most valuable asset it is. Now, you hear about the big public companies all the time, like Toys R Us, since business 75 years goes out of business. Kmart, JCPenney's, Steinmart, Pier 1, Godiva Chocolate, our favorite chocolate, closes down 1,500 locations. GNC closes down 900 locations. I'm here to tell you things don't last forever. So those business owners who think they're never going to sell their business, you're right. You might not sell it, but you're also probably going to end up going out of business. I'm here to prevent that. So the number one reason that business owners go out of business, and by the way, when they go out of business, they're not exiting rich, Terrell. They're exiting poor. They're selling for pennies on a dollar. They're closing their doors. They're filing bankruptcy. And in America, when you file bankruptcy, most business owners pierce the corporate veil because they take out personal guarantees. They take a mortgage against their home to support their business. So you don't just lose your business assets, you lose your personal assets too. So it's time to get real, business owners. It really is. The number one reason that business owners go out of business is because they stop doing what I call AIM. AIM. AIM is always innovate and market. Always innovate and market. So for you to think that you're never going to sell your business is the wrong mindset. You need to go into your business with the end in mind. Start your business with the end in mind. I call this the STGPS exit model. When you want to drive somewhere, Terrell, you pull out your phone and what do? You go to Google Maps and you plug in your
Destination.
Business owners don't have a destination. So they drive around in circles. They drive up and down the financial hills to end up nowhere. You need a destination. You need an end game. So pick a number. Let's say you want to sell your business for $10 million. Great. You have a number. Business owners get hung up on the number. Don't get hung up on the number. Just pick a number. Then what does the GPS need to know, Terrell? It needs to know where you're starting.
Yep. Where your starting point is.
Where you're starting from. What's your current location? And in other words, what's your current evaluation? What is your business worth today? Most business owners have no idea what their business is worth because they've never had a business evaluation. We go to the doctor once a year to make sure we're still kicking and our heart's still ticking. We take our car to the mechanic to make sure it's in good shape, but we don't get a financial annual evaluation checkup on our business. That's financial suicide. There are events that increase valuation. There are events that decrease valuation. You need to always know what your business is worth. So let's say you want to sell for 10 million and you're worth $1 million. Now you need to know time frame. Let's say you want to do this in 10 years. Then the next thing you need to know is who are my buyers going to be? Not buyer, but buyers. If you have one buyer, I can promise you that one buyer probably will not come to fruition. It probably will not close in your business.
Gotcha.
And then you can never maximize value because how do you create competition if you have one? So buyers, there's 5 types of buyers. Let me tell you what they are real quick. First-time buyers. 90% of buyers are first-time buyers. They buy small businesses. They don't buy a $10 million company. Turnaround specialists is number 2. They buy distressed assets. They don't buy $10 million companies. Number 3 is private equity groups. They will buy larger type businesses. Strategics and competitors may pay the highest multiple for businesses, and then sophisticated entrepreneurs or industry agnostic, they chase EBITDA. The
Wow.
next thing you need to know is on these buyers. So the 3 types of buyers that will buy a $10 million company are sophisticated, strategic competitors, and your pegs. Now you need to know where's my financials need to be. If I'm going to sell my business for $10 million, where's the top line need to be? Where's the EBITDA need to be? EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Mhm.
You need at least a $2 million, $1.5 to $2 million in EBITDA to sell for $10 million. Then you need to know, well, what are the synergies that buyers pay top dollar for? How do I build these synergistic assets? And then the last component of this GPS exit model, it's actually the ST GPS exit model, is my why, my purpose. Why do I want to sell business for $10 million? If it was easy, Terrell, everybody would be doing it. Right? So that's the STGPS exit. Business owners have to change their mindset. And they have, and listen, let's say you get to 10 years and your business is worth $10 million and you decide, oh, I don't want to sell it. That's okay. Because if it's still profitable and it's sustainable and it's running without you, who cares? You have a better business, but at least you have a plan.
Mhm.
You don't want to leave your family members with the burden of debt and your business not being sellable. I had a sweet little old lady call me a couple months ago. She said, honey, can you sell my business for me? My husband dropped dead of a heart attack.
Wow.
He'd been in business for 45 years and left her with a pile of debt. She knew nothing about the finances. And when I started asking questions, I learned I couldn't sell his business. The first P in the Seiler Tucker 6 P's is people. He had no people. He had subcontractors, and all the data was in his head. When he died, the business died. The business is not sellable. So always plan your business with the end in mind and set your family up for success, not failure.
Wow. I think that is amazing. Now, so the framework that you just talked through, is that all in the book Exit Rich?
That's in there and a whole bag of chips.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I want to talk about what was it like writing, this book Exit Rich? I mean, as you reflect on your years and years of amazing experience, what was it like being able to get that out and get it into the book?
So, I love writing. I've always liked writing. Even as a little girl, I would write short stories. I would write poems. I would give poems to all my friends at school. And they're like, why is she always writing poems? And I would write lyrics to songs and stuff like that. So this is my third book. I've probably got about, I don't know, 10 more books in me. But I do like writing. Writing for me is very different than most people. Most people take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years to write a book. I'm not going to commit that much time to something. So I take about 6 weeks to write a book.
Nice.
So I wrote Exit Rich in about 6 weeks. And I write every single word in there. I don't use a ghostwriter, and I don't use any of those, recording devices. I type every word in there. So for me, it's lethargic. It's exhilarating getting all that information out of my head and onto paper. Um, I love the writing process.
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned the other books that you've written. What are the titles of those other books? So if people
Sell
want to
your
go back and
business
pick
for
those.
Sell your business for more than it's worth. I wrote a chapter in Think and Grow Rich today, and I wrote a book on acquisitions that's not out yet,
Okay.
on
Gotcha.
how to acquire wealth through business acquisitions.
Nice, nice. So now for Exit Rich, right now when you go to the website, the book is on pre-order. When does the book officially come out?
So you got to go to exitrichbook.com, not Exit Rich. So make sure your listeners go to exitrichbook.com. The book comes out in June. But your listeners don't have to wait till June. They can go to exitrichbook.com and buy the book now for $24.79, which is cheaper than Amazon. We will email them the digital download so they can start reading immediately. We will mail the hardcover to their doorstep to anyone inside the United States for no extra charge. And then they get a lifetime membership into the Exit Rich Book Club. The Exit Rich Book Club has video content of me doing deep dives in different strategies and techniques, plus documents to operate your business, documents to sell your business. So we have sample non-competes, organizational charts, policy and procedure manuals, sample letter of intents, purchase agreements, due diligence checklists, and closing documents. These are there for your review and your download. These documents, Terrell, will cost you over $30,000 if you went to your attorney to recreate. And then we also give you a 30-day membership into Club CEOs, which is an entrepreneur mastermind that I started, that I founded, where we really help business owners build a sustainable, scalable, and when they're ready, sellable business.
Awesome. I love it. And now, can you tell us a little bit more about what else can they expect in that CEO mastermind?
Oh, in a CEO mastermind, we do hot seats, we do Q&As, we ask transformational questions. They get some time with me, and I really help business owners turn their business around and turn their mindset. You can only grow the business as much as you can grow the owner.
Mm-hmm. No, I that is something that I've heard said many times, and I think that it is amazing.
That's because everybody copied me.
Well, they need to make sure that they give you the credit for that.
Yes, because I've been saying that for decades.
Awesome. So now, before we wrap up, where is the website that people can go when they want to see, if they want to check out the book, and then also just the other amazing thing, because you're constantly doing speaking engagements, or you're showing up on television programs, you're often on stages, sharing so much wisdom and value. Where can people find you online or on social media to find out what you're up to next?
Sure. So exitrichbook.com, go there to buy the book. Then we got SeilerTucker.com is my main website. You can also text Michelle to 888-526-5750. All my social media pops up. You can follow me on Facebook. You can go look at me on Facebook, Michelle Seiler Tucker. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm everywhere.
Awesome. I love it. And before we wrap up, one question that I usually ask every guest that comes on is, when you think about your experience, and I would say you've shared so much wisdom with us. Usually I ask for two, but we'll ask for just one. What's one final tip you would share with other business owners based on what you've learned in your experience?
I think the biggest tip is don't do it alone. Learn from other people's mistakes. Grab you a mentor that's been down the road you want to travel, because they will shorten your learning curve. They will shorten your path to success dramatically. So learn from other people's mistakes. The more successful someone is, the more time, energy, effort that they have to help someone else.
Nice. I love it. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for giving us your time, coming on the show, sharing your insight and your wisdom. And before we wrap up, one more time, where can they get that pre-order of the book?
ExitRichBook.com. ExitRichBook.com. I also wanted to say real quick, Steve Forbes endorsed Exit Rich, saying it's a gold mine for entrepreneurs. Kevin Harrington, the original Shark on Shark Tank, wrote the foreword. And Sharon Lechter, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki, she's a 5-time New York Times bestselling author, plus a CPA, financial literacy expert. She was the advisor to many different presidents, including President Obama. She writes the Mentor's Corner after each chapter. Plus, Les Brown has endorsed our book, along with Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins, and so many others.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. Well, I will definitely be grabbing my copy of the book. So thank you so much for the insight, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Terrell. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Finance and Accounting Show. If you like what you heard, don't be selfish. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and then share this with a friend, because you know a business owner that could definitely use this insight. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates when we release a new episode.